My name is John Deaton, and I'm an architect, arbitrator, mediator, and I head up the Planning and Environmental Mediation Group in the Chartered Institute. Environmental disputes are different to other types of disputes in that they affect the built environment which is part of our everyday experience. For example, if you have a planning dispute with a neighbour regarding, say, an extension, then what is ultimately constructed is going to be part of your environment for the time that you live there. Likewise, a large development in your community may change your environment forever. So how do you resolve any issues you have with, say, a planning application? Do you go through the planning process all the way to the Planning Appeals Board or to court? And if you do so, how much will it cost in terms of money, time, stress? And will you have any influence on the design of the proposal, or will this ultimately be left to the discretion of others? Going back to the example of a planning dispute with your neighbour, the prospect of resolving such disputes in a non-consensual way brings with it the prospect that, say, a planning board could ultimately give a decision which might suit neither of you, and the conflict with your neighbour may destroy any prospect of maintaining good neighbourly relations. Environmental mediation is simply a means whereby a trained, neutral third party, the mediator, facilitates a conversation between the two parties in order that they might come to an agreement as to the development. This has great advantages. It preserves relationships. The key issues can be identified and discussed. Compromise proposals can be reached which can lead to imaginative solutions which can benefit everyone. The parties can even agree to disagree on some items, but agree on others. Agreement can be reached on how the scheme is to be implemented to minimize its effects during the construction stage. And the zero option, that is, not proceeding with the proposal, can often be on the table. In recent times in Ireland, we have seen large infrastructural disputes such as the Corrib gas project, wind energy, pylons and so forth. And this type of dispute has inordinately destructive effects on the community and long-lasting effects on people's personal lives. In other countries, environmental mediation has been used in such circumstances with very satisfactory results. By mediation, there is an opportunity to overcome the power imbalance that comes with confronting very large companies or state bodies. It gives the community an opportunity to engage with that company, and vice versa, and to identify acceptable solutions and ways in which, for instance, there can be compensating gains for the community. Typically, we as mediators would meet with each side in a dispute and would talk with them in order to design a mediation process that would suit their needs. This would include setting the ground rules, the venue for the mediation, and who would attend, advisors and support staff. In community-based mediation, there would often be two mediators acting in a co-mediation role. The main requirement for the participants is that they engage positively in the process with a clear intention of coming to an agreement. After that, anything is possible. Mediation is a voluntary process and without prejudice. Nothing is binding until an agreement is finally signed at the end of the process. At the Chartered Institute, we have formed a group of trained and accredited environmental mediators, all of whom have a primary qualification in an environmental related discipline such as architecture, planning, engineering, and so on. We believe that mediation offers a cost-effective and humane way of settling environmental disputes, and we are actively advocating for the use and adoption of environmental mediation into the planning and legislative structures.